This week, we start a new series called Eliminate the Waste, Elevate the Profit, because waste is quietly mocking your Plantscape business. That's next.
It's the Plantscape Business School podcast. This is the podcast for growing not just beautiful plants, but thriving Plantscape businesses. Here's your host, longtime Plantscape business owner, systems nerd, and small business innovator, Brad Miller.
Hey, this is Brad Miller, and welcome back to another episode of Plantscape Business School podcast. And as I said in the intro, we're starting a new series, Eliminate the Waste, Elevate the Profit. So yes, this one is all about your profit, and not just revenue, not just growth, but real take-home, money in the bank profit. So this episode is about lean a little bit. I'm going to tell you some of the principles about lean, but we're really going to focus on the waste that is part of the lean methodology. Here's something that I've experienced again and again in our own company, and so I would imagine that you've experienced it in your own. As your business grows, it gets more complicated. In a quest for growth, we business owners, we really don't adequately plan for the process efficiency that maximizes value and eliminates waste. And those are the two core pillars of lean. In our last episode on leadership systems, we talked about this idea of the law of the lid. And you, as the leader, really set the lid on the growth of your company. You see, when you were a smaller company, you were a leader and you could do all the things. Your business was smaller and your systems were fine for the level of growth that you were, the level of business that you were. But as your business grows and you fail to plan, the added complexity makes systems that worked at one time not work anymore. So that leads us to a frustrating place. You're working hard, you're doing all the right things, you're growing, but there just never seems to be enough money. And friend, I believe that the biggest reason is because of waste. You're not feeling the abundance, the prosperity that you thought would come with owning a business. If that sounds familiar, this episode is for you. This whole series is about this idea of eliminating the waste and elevating the profit. So here's the big idea. Waste is quietly stealing, draining, sucking the profit out of your business. And here's the tricky part. Waste is not loud. Waste is quiet. It doesn't show up on your P&L and announce itself. It creeps in, it hides, and over time, it starts mocking you because you're working your butt off, you're doing all the things, and your business is not showing the profit that it should. And so that's why a focus on waste could be the game changer in your Plantscape business. You've heard me say this before. Revenue is vanity, profit is sanity. So top line sales, yes, absolutely. You have to be a sales-driven organization. But the real question is, do you like the money that you have in the bank? Are you satisfied with the net profits? And if not, it's a very good chance that waste is the culprit. So let me introduce a couple of the ideas around the lean methodology, or sometimes called lean thinking. In lean thinking, waste is any activity that does not add value from the customer's perspective. Now that's important, not from your perspective, but from the customer's perspective. This is something that my staff sees me do all the time. Here's our customers' expectations. We want to exceed their expectations by one notch, and one notch only. Because from here to here is waste. We don't want to exceed client expectations because this they see and they notice. But from here to here, it's waste because they don't care because they don't see it. And so exceeding customer expectations is smart, but you have to do it from that value proposition window. I'd like to introduce you to a friend of mine. His name is Tim Woods. Tim will be your best friend. If you get to know him, you'll love him. But I gotta warn you, he can be a little annoying when you first meet because all he does is point out waste everywhere all the time. But his intentions are good. Tim is not a person. Tim is a business discipline. It's a strategic way to eliminate waste because Tim Woods stands for the 8 different types of waste. So this framework is so beneficial to identify waste in your business. I'm going to run through each one of the 8 different types of waste in general, then I'm going to come back and do it specific to the Plantscape industry. So the first one, T, stands for transportation. Transportation is the unnecessary movement of people or materials. The second one, I, stands for inventory. Too much inventory. M stands for motion. Different from transportation, this is the unnecessary movement of people, the person. O stands for overproduction, doing more than is needed. The other O is for over-processing, doing more work in a process than is needed. D stands for defects. Defects are errors that require a go back or rework. And the last one is S, and S stands for skills. Bottom line, it's training. Not enough training. Not using people's talents effectively. Now let's take the Tim Woods discipline and apply it to your Plantscape business. And friend, this is where it gets real. This is where you can really begin to become aware of the waste that is sucking the profit out of your business. I'm going to go quickly over each of these as it applies to the Plantscape business because I'm going to come back and do a specific podcast episode on some of the divisions in our business and apply the Tim Woods methodology to that division. So starting with T, transportation. Because we have a lot of vehicles on the road in the Plantscape business, a big one is route efficiency. Too much windshield time. Windshield time is unproductive work where people are stuck in traffic. They're traveling from account to account, not doing the work, not adding value. So think about route efficiency. The second one, inventory, is ordering too many plants. Plants are a perishable item, especially our bloomers like orchids and guzmanias and other types of bromeliads. Number 3, motion, is too much time on the account. So thinking about your gardeners or your technicians, not having a target time for each specific account, or not helping your gardener to think through the most efficient route through the account. This is where we unload, this is where we start, and this is how we make our way in the most efficient way around the account. The next one, W, stands for waiting. Too many workers on a project standing around. That's one application. But it's any time where your staff is waiting on direction or materials for a project. So think of too many people going on a plant installation. And there's one person who knows the plan, and you got 2 or 3 people who are standing around waiting on direction. O for overproduction. So growing or maybe preparing more plants than you can actually use. This might also apply to sales and marketing. You're having too many leads at one time where your salespeople are not adequately following up. Friend, sales is follow-up. So make sure that your lead flow equals the capacity of your sales team to follow up. The second O stands for overprocessing. And in the Plantscape world, I believe the biggest waste is over-watering. It's a type of over-processing because, friend, you know that more plants die from over-watering than from anything else. So when you're training your new gardeners, make sure that their job is not to water plants. Their job is to be a plant care gardener. Make sure that they're not overwatering. Overcleaning is another type of overprocessing. Doing more than the client values, more cleaning. We have people who think that there shouldn't be one teeny tiny little water spot on any leaf, on any plant. Friend, the client doesn't care. They don't even notice. They think that the plants are the most amazing plants they've ever seen. So that's another type of overprocessing. D stands for defects. And in plantscaping, I believe defects are plant replacements. If you can figure out how to have fewer plant replacements, friend, your profit is going to soar because it's not just the cost of the plant, but it's the ordering, the processing, the unpacking, the cleaning, the prepping, the putting them in a van, getting them to the spot, and then installing them. So plant replacements, think that type of defect. So last one, S, stands for skills. And I think the best description of skills is a lack of training. Just think how many dumb mistakes we endure because we've not really invested in someone's training. Training in the technical work, of course, but friend, also training in the customer relations. There's a lot of training that should go into that relationship building with our clients so that we never lose a customer. That's a quick overview of the 8 different types of waste. And when you start seeing your business through this lens, something shifts. You become aware. And awareness in business is a beautiful thing. You begin to realize that what worked for us 2 years ago doesn't work. It's broken. Our business is more complicated now, and you can plan for the added complexity by building better systems, becoming aware of the waste so that you can fix it. Waste is draining your profit. Waste is quietly mocking your Plantscape business.
Thanks for listening to the Plantscape Business School podcast. If today's episode helped you think differently about your Plantscape business, share it with a fellow owner and make sure you're subscribed so you never miss an episode. For tools, training, and resources to help you build a business that really works, visit PlantscapeBusinessSchool.com. Plantscape Business School. Uncomplicate your business and expand your life.